Today we are in Brussels, Belgium, and we are going to do a walking tour with a guide for an hour or so, and then we have free time on our own. So it's interesting driving through the city. You know, we were in Bruges yesterday, very medieval city. Everything just was like locked in time, and then Brussels is a very modern city, but they've taken us to the old part because that's where the history is. So behind me is the Brussels Cathedral, and then we're going to be walking that way into the old town. One thing for sure on the list today is a waffle, because that was the one thing we were not able to get in Bruges yesterday because we ran out of time. So have to get a waffle today.
Look at the roof. Look up. That is very special. What you see up here is air conditioning without the need for maintenance and without power requirements, because it's the building. It's ingenious. That roof is in two layers. You see where it stops being rounded and then it goes into a point? There's this much of nothing in between. Nothing. And the second thing you see is over there, it doesn't go straight on. It makes a curve. And that's calculated as well by engineers. So what don't you feel in here? Draft. There's no draft. Perfectly calculated. And what don't you feel in here? Cold. It's not cold here. It's hotter than out there. It's not very conveniently hot. It's not Miami. But it never freezes in here. Although it's open on two sides, it never freezes in here. And it never gets overly hot here either, despite the roof. Thanks to the roof, because that is natural airco, ladies and gentlemen. 1848, no computers involved. People, brain power, pencils, paper.
So right here in this shop, it's Nieuwe House, this is where Belgian chocolate was invented. So early on, they were pharmacists. They decided we need to hide the taste of medicine, let's coat it in chocolate, and that worked. But to really make money around here, they decided let's coat good stuff in chocolate. So here in 1911, the first praline or bonbon was invented right here in this shop, and it took off so much that now everybody makes them, and that's what one of the things that Belgium's really known for is their chocolates.
Kind of independent from one another, and some were hostile to one another. Bruges is in Flanders, in the medieval area. This is Brabant. This is not Flanders at all in those days. So they're hostile towards one another, and when Bruges built a city hall in stone, which was new because everything else would have been in wood in those days, bar churches and fortification, they sent in dead of night a spy to Bruges, and he goes and measures up that new building. Then they come here and they build a bigger one. Sadly, it's only the left part in the tower. That's the original, between brackets. Now, 40 years later, it's finished, it's perfect, it's the biggest one. In Louvain, 30 kilometers north of here, they do the same thing. They send a guy to Brussels in dead of night, he measures it up, and they build another one in the same style, which is Brabant Gothic, and it's bigger than this one. Can't have that, can we? So they flattened 3 houses and they built the addition.
Of all the beautiful things in Brussels, one of the most famous spots, as you can clearly tell by all the people right here, is this statue of a little boy peeing. It's called Mannequin Piss, that's the name here. And it's literally a statue, or a fountain, and the water is, you know, he's peeing. We are currently in the market square of Brussels. This area dates back to medieval times, and the city hall that's right here had a very similar building that stood there since the 1200s, but in the late 1690s, France demolished this area and it's been rebuilt, and whenever it was demolished, the city hall was the only stone building, everything else was wood, so it burned very quickly. Now it is very, very ornate. Most of the buildings in this square actually have gold on them. That's not fake gold, that's real gold over there. So you can see the wealth that was in this area. This building behind me is City Hall. and it looks like a church from a distance because it has a spire on it, but it's not a church. Beautiful building, and look how tall that spire is. So years ago, before modern society, this was the tallest building in Brussels. So standing here in Market Square, you can tell this is the heart of the city. This is where all the tourists come, so you can see everybody with their camera phones out. But it's cool to see that because, you know, I love that people want to come here. They want to see the old history. I'm absolutely loving seeing these old buildings. You can tell they're about to set up for something right there. Christmas is coming, so there's gates over there. I figure their Christmas decorations are on their way. Today, the forecast said no rain, and it's been raining on and off, so I think another cloud's come above us. So we're gonna scoot down this street over here and see if we can find us a waffle, because I haven't had one of those yet. So we're walking alongside of City Hall right now, and you can look up on the side of this building, and there are so many carved statues of people. And so this was obviously City Hall. These are the people who were the politicians and things like that worked here during the time this building was made. There's so many. It's just all along the side of the building. It's really cool. Something else Belgium is really known for is their lace. It started in Bruges, but it carried over into Brussels. So you will find these lace shops all throughout the city. It's a little bit more commercial now than it was back in the day, but I think you can still get handmade lace pieces here and there. Finally time for my Belgian waffle. So we are at Maison d'Andoy. Literally, I can see the side of City Hall right there. We're right down one of the side streets. Came in here, there's two options. You can do takeaway downstairs, or you can come up to the tea room and sit down, get out of the rain, and order and enjoy it, which is what we've decided to do. Come to find out, there are two different types of Belgian waffles. There's the Brussels waffle, which is the completely square or rectangular waffle that you think of when you think of a Belgian waffle, or there's the, oh shoot, what's it called? Or there's the Liège waffle, which is they just pour the batter in and smash it, and it doesn't have an exact perfect shape to it, so it's a little bit smaller. That's the one I went with, and I have it topped with chocolate, because we're in Belgium, cooked strawberries, and whipped cream, and this looks amazing. So that is a very dense waffle. You can tell these are called sugar waffles, and you've got like sugar embedded into them, and then they have that chocolate on top. That is really, really, it's delectable. It's like, I'm not gonna say that's good, that's delectable. That's very, very tasty. And just food for thought, or just interesting fact, here in Belgium, waffles are not eaten for breakfast. They are eating, as we are doing, in the afternoon as a snack. Of course, I had to order a hot chocolate to go with my waffle. And this is made with real chocolate. You can tell it's shaved. You've got little pieces of hard chocolate in there as you stir it up. But I tasted it, and it's not sweet. So they put the sugar on the side. There is a brown sugar cube that I'm going to mix into the chocolate to give it the sweetness.